Alright everyone, this is going to be a collection and game room tour update video for June of 2018. So first thing I'm going to focus on is my main game shelf straight ahead. I have over 600 unique titles between consoles and handhelds. Very proud of that, and one thing I really love to do is to organize my collection, as you may notice. So when you approach it, I have some video game posters up front here, and of course up top I have my Super Smash Bros. Line of amiibo. I'm not going after every single Smash amiibo, but I did get into the craze early on, and kind of started with getting characters that I like, and then slowly realizing through all the money I've spent that I like a lot of characters that are in Super Smash Bros. So, there we go. I still need to get Peach and Donkey Kong, and of course Daisy and Ridley when they come out, and then I'm done, like for real. For real, I gotta be done, right? So the first shelf here is mostly cartridge-based Nintendo stuff. So the first couple shelves is going to be my NES games, and my boxed NES games, and my boxed Super Nintendo games. Going down to my boxed Genesis games, which fit nicely here. And then my Super Nintendo games down here, featuring my Metroid Samus Returns amiibo, and my Kirby line of amiibo, which I guess was for the 3DS games, I don't know. Super Nintendo is my favorite game system of all time, so I have a lot of the main staple games, like the Mario, Zelda, Mega Man X, Chrono Trigger, of course I'm super proud of, Super Metroid, just a bunch of great games. Love that system. And at the bottom here we have N64 and cart-only Genesis games. I'm not a huge N64 fan. It does have good games, but I didn't grow up with it because I was a Sony fan, which is what the second shelf is right up here. So, first up is the PlayStation 1, which I like to call the first console that I had growing up besides the Super Nintendo. Spyro is my jam. Going down into the PS2, my Guitar Hero craze really kicked in, and this is like my childhood, like, nostalgia right here is for the PS2. I fucking love that console. Going down here into the PS3, and down into the PlayStation 4, with of course my Vault-Tec lunchbox, and some PS3 special editions. The third shelf here is kind of just a mix of random stuff, starting with my Atari 2600 games, which is cool, very cheap to collect for right now. Going down into my GameCube games. I didn't grow up with a GameCube, and I'm still trying to play catch-up here, but I'm proud of what I got so far. Got my Wii Special Edition games going down into my actual Wii games, which are pretty rad. Didn't grow up with a Wii either, or get one at launch, but I'm catching up. And then down here is my DS games with some standalone amiibo that I got, and my one Wii U game that we don't talk about. I'm missing a couple cases for these, but hopefully I'll be getting them, or just printing off replacement labels soon. Next shelf down here is boxed Game Boy games and my 3DS games. And then at the bottom here, we have original Xbox and some 360. Not a huge Microsoft fan, but the original Xbox is pretty cool, and I'm slowly getting into the other Microsoft systems. We'll see. Fourth and final shelf here is my PlayStation Portable games. Love this handheld, very cheap to collect for. Going down into my small Vita collection and my Dreamcast games. Wish that was cheap to collect for, but, you know, I do what I can. And then down here is my Switch games and a couple things like my Assassin's Creed Origins, Hidden Blade, and my really cool, I gotta show this off, the Nintendo 3DS guide for the Louvre in France. You could only get this in Paris. I had a friend who went and actually got one for me. Very nice, probably keeping that sealed for a while. It's really cool. My plan is to fill up this shelf with Switch games one day. This is what I got so far. I'm letting a friend borrow Kirby right now. So that's it. Kind of down here is just CDs and movies and a couple PC games, which are neat. So that's kind of it for the shelves. Taking a step back just to get it all in frame again, because I love looking at this. It's just great. All the colors and the organization, I love it. And then going to this side of the room, this is where my consoles and my main kind of gaming PC setup is, right down here. This is a little nightstand I got with my CRT, which is kind of crappy, but I'm trying to get a new CRT soon. This is what I got right now. Got my top loader NES, Super Nintendo, and N64 hooked up. Going right over here, I have a bunch of gaming and anime figures and junk up top here. As we go down my consoles, a regular NES, I got a Wii, GameCube, PS1, Silver PS2, PS3, Sega Saturn, and Sega Dreamcast. And then down here is my very pitiful Xbox 360 missing a faceplate, original Xbox, Atari 2600, and first model Sega Genesis. So this is my laptop that I have right now. I'm actually getting a desktop very soon, so I'll be replacing that as my main gaming rig. I do have a monitor I have hooked up here, which I have my PS4 and my Switch hooked up to currently. You can see the Fallout bobblehead I keep on my desk. And behind here is where all my handheld stuff is on this little shelf that's built into the desk itself. So I have these nail polish displays that I have my Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games and a couple loose DS games in there. And then if I move around real quick, you can see my handhelds with the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, which I grew up with. I love that GBA even though I hardly play it today. Game Boy SP, Mario Kart Edition first model DS, my 3DS XL by Apple, of course, my PSP and my Vita, and of course here's my Switch. And then going down here, the PS4 is kind of tucked in here, and then right here are my gaming strategy guides. I kind of like collecting strategy guides of my favorite games, just because sometimes I'll flip through them and see things about my games I didn't know about, and they're just kind of fun to show off and keep as a nice little end piece. But of course that's where the desktop will go when I get that soon. Going back to the door, and then on this side is my dresser, which I have a bunch of other random gaming junk on, like my Animal Crossing line of amiibo, which I have all of those, and then some extra plushies that couldn't fit on the previous shelf, my Charge-A-Bug, who's my son, and this box, Super Nintendo, which isn't actually mine, but it will be one day. And of course I have some gaming prints here with Mega Man X. This is an anime one of Steins Gate, which is great. On this wall I got my Star Wars Original Trilogy posters, and my Resident Evil 4 one from the strategy guide, the Zelda one from the Club Nintendo set for Link Between Worlds. I got the second one up here above my desk, and that is just about it. So that's my game room just real quick. A couple things I want to change in the future. Every time I get a game, I gotta like redo the entire shelf for space reasons. So maybe one day I'll get a fifth shelf, or just kind of take the movies and CDs off and make it all games, because that doesn't take up that much space, but I don't know. I love it though. I get a game and I'm like, oh boy, I can spend a whole day just redoing this. So it's great. I love it. Thanks for watching. That's just the game room update, and I will catch you guys later. Take care.